Kia ora koutou, ko Chloe Lawrence taku ingoa. I'm a speech and language therapist in the Gisborne region, and today I'm going to have a chat about some strategies that might be useful in the classroom for helping children to get back into routine and follow instructions. The first thing we're going to have a chat about today is setting up the environment. So this is a tricky one in the classroom because it's often a noisy, busy space with lots of things going on and lots of children engaging in learning in different ways. But to support our children who do have difficulty comprehending language or processing language, if it can be quieter, that's going to give them a much better chance of understanding an instruction and responding to it, because they're only having to process the language that you are using as opposed to working out what is language and what is noise from the background. It's also going to make it easier for an adult to gain that child's attention. Before giving an instruction, it's really important to get a child's attention, and the easiest way to do that is by saying their name. Some children might need a little bit more than that. They might need a tap on the shoulder or a nice firm hand on their back to get them ready to receive an instruction. Some children also need a little prompt to have a look at you, whilst others find looking really uncomfortable. So you know your tamariki, whatever's going to work best for them in terms of that, getting their attention. When giving an instruction, the less language we use, the more likely that child is going to understand what is expected of them. And these are not strategies for building a child's understanding or ability to understand instructions. This is about helping them get it right in coming back to school. So if we use short sentences and simple words and give them one piece of information at a time, they're far more likely to get it right and feel that success and be easier in the classroom. So instead of giving an instruction like, everybody get your books, get a pen, and then come and sit on the mat in your reading groups, we could break that up into small chunks of information. So just giving one instruction: go and get your books. When the books are got, go and get a pen, and so on and so forth. So we're chunking that into small bits of information that are easier to achieve. As well as giving a simple instruction, it's really important to give a child plenty of time to respond. And so I would recommend waiting up to 10 seconds to give a child the opportunity to respond before we repeat that instruction or try and help them out a little bit. So it seems like the longest time in the world, but for some children they need that amount of time in order to process what they've heard, work out what is expected of them, and then move to responding. So I would aim for 10 seconds, even though it feels very awkward. If you do repeat an instruction, a really good thing to try is using exactly the same words each time, because if you change the words, it's actually a different instruction. So if you say, go and put your shoes on, and then you say, it's time to put your shoes on now, that child is processing two different instructions about shoes as opposed to the same instruction twice. And again, if you repeat the instruction, add your wait time in. Another really cool thing for supporting a child to understand routines and instructions is praise. So giving really specific praise around what they have done to reinforce the language around that instruction. So it might be, oh, ka pai, you got your book. So they're hearing the words for that instruction again and knowing that they got it correct. Another thing that can be really helpful is using visuals to support a child to follow instructions. But I'm going to do another short little video about some of the visual options available, which I'll talk about those there. The final strategy I want to talk about in terms of supporting tamariki to follow those routines or instructions is giving warning of upcoming change. So as opposed to springing a change in routine, so say moving from free play time to mat time, it can be really helpful to give a child a bit of a warning that that change is coming up. So if you're wandering past, hey, we're going to mat time in 10 minutes. 5 minutes later, oh, playtime's going to be finished in 5 minutes, and then we're going to go to mat time. So that when that change does come, that child has had plenty of forewarning, and I know plenty of teachers who give that as a whole class instruction. But a kid with language issues might need an extra little prompt. So maybe 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 2 minutes, so they've got lots of warning that change is coming up. I'm now going to write up a little bit of a handout with a summary of those strategies. But thank you for watching my video. I will put my details somewhere, and so you can get in contact if you have any questions about that. Yeah, ka kite.